Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. I do hope you're all doing well. Apologies there about the little bit of a delay on the start. How you doing there, Arthur? Yeah, I know, right? To be fair, I'm currently dog sitting at home, so it is a little bit easier. The only problem is, of course, Teddy's more or less constant snoring, but he's a great dog. I think he's awake maybe 10% of his life, maybe 90% of it is spent sleeping. It's a great dog, great dog. But here we are with a great series as well. I just want to plug again the channels of Alex and Plumber. Do go ahead and check out the description, and do go ahead and give them a follow. They do have their own perspectives. I'm not entirely sure how advanced they are in terms of the turns as, well, I'm not watching, but do go ahead and check them out. But if you guys are enjoying the series, do let them know, and let me know as well. Comment, like, and subscribe. That'd be awesome. How you doing there, Brooks? You should have seen the times where I was doing one of the East 2 campaigns, and they were like 4 or 5 hours every day, or near enough every day, something like that. But here we are. I mean, it does come down to it. I do wonder, like, what's a good pace to play the game at? But I think playing the game, people will watch, people will catch up when they get time. There's no rush. And at the end of the day, I quite like it. I consider it like the Netflix effect, where you can have like a good binge. And there's been many a times in the past when I'd come home from work or studies, and I'd just throw on like a series and just enjoy watching that. And that was me. So what we're going to go ahead and do here then is take a look at the turn. I do have their turns in, at least I do hope so. It should be right, but I think we're good to go. Now, I've decided, in fact, to change a couple of the orders here. I'm going to have the aircraft remain here. This core is going to remain here. This core is actually pretty good as a defensive engineer. So we do have the 10% defensive fire and protection, which is very useful. What I'm going to do in the future is actually put another pioneer in here to actually boost that. I do have a cavalry division heading down here. They're going to try and make their way over here to Belotusk. I don't know how you want to pronounce that. But they're going to head out that way. Oh yeah, the vodka up front. Yeah, what a crazy time. Imagine that versus a human player. Well, you'll be seeing that in the near future. I do need to get to work on the Night Phoenix Warm East 2, played by email. As well as the NATO's Nightmare, played by emails with Alex again, and with SD League. I'm a little behind, I must say. So we're going to assault the fortress over here. Now, the fortress is breached. As you can see here, the structure doesn't provide any defensive benefits. They still have the guns. The guns will still fire. But yeah, he's not going to gain the benefits of the fortress. I'm going to go ahead and actually have Von Kluck move south. He's a very good commander as well. He's a 4-5. That 5 is really good. He is reckless, however, so it will be a little difficult with him. Now, I've got to say, he's a bit of a contender with Hindenburg. Because he's an aggressive strategist. This general is a massively offensive strategy. If CNC, this general provides +1 strategic, +1 attack, and +1 troop quality if active to all commanders of land forces in this theatre. So it's actually quite competitive. So he does give the strategic. I think Hindenburg gives initiative. Oh, strategic initiative and a 5% and a +5 frontage bonus. Which is pretty interesting, actually. So if we take a look at our troops over here. We need to look into this. Like, frontage open is what we theorize to be the extent of the battlefield that this division, or at least this brigade, this is like, you have the division, but these are the elements within it. And that would be their frontage. Now, I don't know whether this is the frontage of the entire division. Not entirely sure about that. We'll have to try and figure that one out as we go. But it seems like Hindenburg increases the frontage, which is both a good and a bad thing. It means that more units can attack. It also means that more units can potentially suffer. But it in theory, increases the amount of attacks. But I'm not too sure. I'm going to have to figure that one out. This mechanic I'm going to have to figure out more so. But yeah, so Hindenburg, a strategic and initiative and frontage bonus. Whereas Von Kluck is the strategic attack and troop quality, which is quite good. I do believe that troop quality refers to their discipline, but I could be wrong about that one. I will have to do some more research and figure that one out. I think it refers to their discipline, because I have seen units of lower discipline than that. We do have here, this is the guards unit actually. So if I take a look, these are actually built as guard units over here then. So you can see that they have discipline at 10, and they're considered the elite infantry here. If I take a look at some other infantry, yeah, this line infantry brigade over here, 9. But I believe that, let's see, it may be because I have von Moltke. Von Moltke's actually heading over here with supply. So he is a by-the-book strategist, and he gives a +1 troop quality there to all commanders of land forces, plus additional CP, which is quite nice. If I take a look over here on this front, we do have Rupesh von Bayon, who gives troop quality as well. I think in theory, if I go ahead and check out the recruitment, yeah. So I think true quality is basically their discipline, but I do need to take a look at their discipline and how that affects things. But essentially on the on the Eastern Front, we're looking about 10 in places, 9 on average. I'd love to go ahead and compare that with the Russian forces. Would be very interesting, and with the French forces too. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get into this then before I go on too long. What I've decided to go ahead and do then is I do have this corps over here. They're moving over here to, well, they're moving to Einstein by rail. Then they're going to march across to Malawa, how do you want to pronounce that? And then march over here as well. They're marching on an offensive, conservative attack posture. The idea is going to be that we take the town over here, the city actually I should say, and the rail line. We should have enough military control gain to enable us to use the rail line. I was really umming and ahhing about whether or not to take this corps as well. They're going to arrive here in 8 days, the same as Hindenburg, 8 days. This corps would arrive here in 15 days. What I'm thinking is, if I'm attacking an army, like I know there's an army here which does have a level of entrenchment, I can't... And we have beaten this army, we did beat this army in the turn prior. We did cross the river doing it, so we did suffer a greater penalty there. But I didn't inflict a huge amount of casualties. We've suffered some cohesion loss ourselves. We did have another corps to reinforce us, so we've been able to recover some cohesion, some of the losses there. But if I need to win, I need to make sure I'm using all the tools for it. I wasn't that comfortable about having men in our rear, but there seems to be a division over here, and the fortress itself. But I don't think these men are going to be that great of a problem. To the south, I'm moving the division over here. And what I figured is, rather than controlling this hex, I can go ahead and move this corps over here, have this division link up with it as well, and then I can give that commander there a division to control. He can also just act as a bit of a rear guard over here, but also cement control over here, so we can make sure we can move supplies up over here. Like right now, I can move supplies over like so. I need this province here. Once I get either this rail line or this rail line, it's likely going to be this rail line, I'll be able to move things up by a rail more easily. Like right now, I don't have this. I don't know, I'm hoping that I may gain this turn. I've only got 7%, so I'm not really gaining. I don't know, maybe I just stay here. I tell you what, yeah, I'm going to stay here. This is the thing, I'm not always solid on some of these decisions. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stay here then. We'll stay here, continue to gain military control of this region. I need that rail line. I should have enough control over here to have this rail line activated this turn as well. This should be active as well then. I need to control this. If I've got this control, then I can move supplies in via rail. These guys are marching to Terek, which is over there. I could take that one or that one, but this one's a little bit safer, perhaps. They'll be there in a day. This army is not yet activated. Their supply situation is fine though, which is good. I just need to make sure that they have supply enough in the area to keep them backed up. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is, once we've seen off this army, assuming we do see off this army, I'll begin to advance upon Warsaw. I do have a Russian corps, and this would be a Grenadier corps over here. Goddamn Teddy. We do have them trapped in the city over here. And I do have a double corps on them. I'm going to kind of subject them to a state of siege. I don't know how much supply they would have in there. It's a size 2 city, there's no depot, so there would be some supply, but not that much. There's a fortress over here at Vanguard as well, but I'm hoping in the future we'll be able to take that. I do have my forces marching here, and I'm hoping that it's a successful result, and I think it will be. But we'll have to hope there. I do have pioneers, well I have engineers actually I should say. So I'm hoping that we can manage it. I do have this core. I was in an hour about having this core sent over here to Dublin or not. But I'm going to go ahead and have it sent over here. Or at least attempt to have it sent over here. The idea is going to be try and cut this rail if possible. I really need to just take out the rail around Brest-Litovsk. And then I do have a really good chance of trapping the Russian forces here. If I can cut it here and cut it here, then these Russians are trapped. At least via rail. They can move around in certain areas, but they'll have to march the rest of the way. So what I'm hoping is I can try and use that time to just trap them and destroy them. Like, inflict a defeat in detail upon them. I was up in an iron about having the Austrian forces remain here. And as far as it goes, it was a victory, but it was a bit of a costly victory there. The Ottomans are okay. At the end of the day, I don't know, it depends. Like, a lot of forces, like Russian forces here are good. Like, the men are good. It's not like they're bad per se, it's just they don't have the same level of support. And that's usually they don't have the same level of artillery support. But the Russians do have a very large amount of manpower. And they do have a large army, so they will continue to fight. They just don't have that industrial base, really. The Western Entente and the Central Powers obviously do have that industrial base. So the Western Front is pretty bloody when it wants to be. Right now, ours is relatively bloodless. We had a single battle, which was a Central Powers victory at Val-de-Moselle. And it cost the French 22,000, it cost us 17,000. But I'm really trying to focus on building heavy artillery and try and push the quality, and just try and push the artillery front. I think more than men, that's what's going to make a difference in the long run. If I need to recruit men, I can do that, but I do have men. I just don't have them in the armies immediately, if that makes sense. Like, we suffered losses over here. Something around 30-odd thousand men. And I just need to recover them. Well, how it works in the game here, at least in the vanilla game, there's a mod that changes things. Like, we have a combined cron together within the alliance and share that artillery out. And speaking of artillery, what I'm doing over here, then moving to Polar. Did I mean to move? Oh, yes. Let me go ahead and okay. Yeah, I accidentally moved them there. I'm moving some balloons over here. I want to see if I can get an idea of what's going on the Italian front. I'd like to know where the Italians are deployed. But what I'm doing is I'm moving some balloons and aircraft around here. So these balloons are moving down to the south. I want to try and gain some information here. The fleet's heading back. Put them on conservative attack in case we do actually engage the French. Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is it. At the end of the day, it does mean that you have the industrial power of Germany and Austria. Not so much Austria, but obviously Germany for sure. I'm also going to go ahead and shift a corps over to the north. I did bring this. This was the Festung. This was the fortress artillery that we liberated from Trento. I'm having these men shipped to the north. What I'm going to go ahead and do then is bring this army back over here. I do have he's an actual army commander, the 4th Army. But I don't really have the forces for a true 4th Army. So what I'm doing then is pulling back the 3rd Army. We did win a victory against the Russians here, but I can't really stay in the field right now. So I'm going to rebuild on Lemberg. I did talk about how I wanted to try and neuter the Russian attack before they really got going. And that did happen, just not decisively. It wasn't a decisive enough win. I'd lost too many casualties for me to continue the advance over there. Especially as there is a corps over here too, and there's a corps over here. This even could be an army, but I didn't have enough forces to win. I continue to win. I'm going to continue to hold over here. Like right now, we're 5 days away from a level 2 entrenchment. So I'm going to build up on Lemberg. These forces remain in place, and then I'm going to try to inflict a decisive victory a decisive defeat on the Russians again on that front. So we do have additional heavy artillery liberated from over here, and I will be liberating more artillery over here as well. I'm going to take as much artillery as I can. I'm not sure how it's going to go with the Italians, but we'll come to that bridge when we get there. I will come to that when we get there. Cross that bridge even. So they're remaining here. I'm kind of static here on this side because this is my reserve army. They're pulling back to build up men, take on replacements, and then we'll combat the Russians. I'm going to try and go for a pretty risky attack on Lublin. I do have more men, even in this army I have more men, but it doesn't always come down to the numbers of men, it comes down to the quality, it comes down to the leadership, it comes down to a number of factors. They are dug in, or at least they are digging in. They do have the woods there to play with, so that's going to provide them a minor bonus. I'm on the wrong one here. Yeah, so I'm going to take a 5% penalty to regular infantry, and then both sides have a 10% penalty to artillery. The fight over here was in clear terrain, so just everybody's firing and fighting at full effectiveness. The weather is clear, so there's no ill effects there from the weather. Weather's good on the eastern front and the western front. Down here we do see mud, so that's not ideal. Yeah, mud's going to be a big problem, but we're not going to be dealing with that. I'm also going to go ahead and move this 6th army over here. I'm a little worried about the Serbians coming to try and flank me here and myself becoming enveloped. So I'm going to try to avoid that. It is about a turn before we have the mountain brigades actually available. Yeah, so they'll be available next turn, which is good. So I'll be able to collect the mountain brigades together and then begin to work with something there. But yeah. The idea is going to be that we assault over here at Kaunas, whatever I'm going to say Kaunas. And I'm going to try to assault over here at Grodno. I'm hoping that in this turn coming, I secure the 2 fortresses there, and I can set up my depots in a secure position. I really considered attacking the army over here, what appears to be the 1st army. I really considered attacking there, but I can't guarantee that they're still going to be there, and I cannot leave a fortress to my rear. Granted, its garrison is not strong, but I need that city. It's a size 5 city with a size 2 depot. It's very nice. I did have a very insightful comment regarding building more troops, and you know what, I'm trying to resist that. Conrad von Hotzendorf will be available next turn, which is great. So von Hotzendorf, this is his command radius over here, for the army group command basically. As soon as he's free, I'm going to have him move up to Lemberg, and that's going to help the Austrian troops out. I mean, I've got von Moltke over here in the north, and I'm hoping that I can have von Moltke and Hotzendorf really combine and make sure that the Germanic armies, the German Austrian armies, the Central Power armies over here in the east are well commanded. But we are putting a lot of pressure on the Russians here. Plummer has said as much that this is a lot of pressure, but he still says he has tricks up his sleeves and he does have men. He says he likes everything but men, so that's a little scary. Over in the west, I do have this corps over here, this cavalry corps, just in a passive posture. Their role here was just to gain information. Also to take Vosges and just kind of put our flag there. I did have this corps arrive. I gave them the Alpine troops over there and a reserve division. They're going to march over here to Colmar. The idea is going to be that they hold Colmar, so we can't just put a corps in there and take it. Because that would be a difficult thing to then take back. I do have the army over here, it's just called the army. Under Josias. They're going to remain and continue to dig in. They'll be at level 2 in 3 days, which is good. We do have von Bayern in the center. There are reinforcements here. We do have a 5th Corps. I do also have this General Corps over here, which is made up of 2 divisions of infantry, 2 divisions of cavalry. We have a 5th Army over here, which is going to remain in position under the command of the Crown Prince. I do have the newly arrived Northern Army, which is made up of about 104,000 men here. But I am lacking artillery, and I need artillery. This is what I'm talking about. I'm sending 2 commanders over here to the north to the 4th Army. They're not currently active, but I'm hoping that these corps commanders will be active next turn. Where are they going? Oh, they're going to Valmazel, okay. So these are 2 commanders heading down to Valmazel as well. So I can help command those forces. Where are the others? Oh, did I decide against it, actually? I think I... Was I going to send this to Valmazel? I think, in fact, I'm going to have them head to the north. Yeah, we'll have them head over here. I do need more corps commanders here to more effectively command this army. But yeah, I'm lacking artillery here. I am lacking artillery. I do have these forces over here. Okay, this commander is actually active, which is good. So I can give him these forces. There we are. Okay. I'm not hearing the game sound effects, so I think I'm going to restart the game actually to make sure I get that. Because I do like the battle sounds, they're quite fun. Now where do I want to move this army? I could have them also move to Colmar. And that does give me a fairly effective force on at Colmar. But I do feel... I feel partially... To be fair, having additional men here. Valdemoiselle is just... It is... vulnerable. So they can continue on that way then to Valdemoiselle. With it being clear terrain, I could even have those men march over here to Vosges. It wouldn't be a bad idea at all, actually. But I'll see. Currently, this area is not that important right now. It's useful to have, and I do have men occupying it. Not many men, but I am occupying it. When I get an opportunity in the future, I would like to launch an offensive, and I really did consider launching an offensive this turn. I really, really did consider it. Because we have the army over here in the north, but the issue is it's like if I attack in a position I'm attacking, and there's potentially 2 armies or even 3 armies able to support them. I did also bear in mind that this is a turn where they'll gain a level of entrenchment, but they don't have level 2 entrenchment. But it comes down to the case of, well, what do I hope to achieve after that? Can I break through to Verdun? Can I break through beyond that? Can I take Paris? No, not right now. I need artillery. I need more men. So I'm going to work on positioning. I'm going to try and lock down the Western Front. I've gained some territory, which is good. I'm hoping that I can try and put something into effect to actually secure that territory in the long run. But we'll see. I don't know, actually, it's kind of tempted to move a corps over here to Vosges, actually. It would actually go some way into locking this down. It's wooded hills, so there'd be a pretty good defensive buff there. I don't know, maybe it's worth it. I can give it a go, actually. I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go. 16 days there. This commander can continue over here. Yeah, I've lost game sounds, so I'm going to assume I'll have to restart and then I can get the game sounds. I do have a regiment of heavy artillery available in 2 turns. I do have 3 divisions, they're ready again in 2 turns. I have additional heavy artillery. Oh, I have my, yeah, I've got another group of heavy artillery over here, 58 days for those guys. Where are my fighters and the like? Where are they? Where are they? They're around here somewhere. Let me check on war production. Mannheim. Oh, over here. And that's weird that it's not showing the men, but I guess they're technically not men. Alright, we'll place them there so we can see them. Yeah, so I invested in aircraft over here. So I do have a squadron of fighters and reconnaissance. These are reconnaissance. I mean, each of this is like made up of 6 planes at maximum. I do also have fighters over here, so we'd have some fighters actually on the Western Front there. I'm hoping a bit of an earlier investment in technology, such as like aircraft, will pay dividends in the future. I mean, both Alex and Plumber have been invested in funds. They've been raising funds and raising generals. I mean, I do need generals too, but I'm okay kind of for the moment. I kind of need more men as well. I've resisted raising state funds to avoid inflation. I'm hoping in the future I may profit from that, but we'll see. It's not really state funds I need, it's more so just war supply. So you might be thinking, hang on XTRG, hang on Mr. X Random Gamer, what a cringy name by the way. You have 105 tons of war supply remaining, what are you doing with it? And I did really and ah. I even had 4 Austrian divisions under construction here, and I was going to say, look guys, I've decided to capitulate, and I've decided to go ahead and construct additional divisions, and I'm like, no. It's not divisions I really need, it is artillery that I need. And then again, I came down to the consideration of, okay, well, what do I want to produce? Do I want to produce more medium artillery? Well, yes, but I kind of want heavy artillery. And I'd love to have super heavy artillery. I'm just really going to try and, like, double down on heavy artillery. It's going to be a hell of an investment, but I kind of figure that right now, the war is progressing to our interest. In the east. In the west, it's kind of static. And as far as it goes, it's like the French have 3 armies there in the south that are dug in. He's got 3 armies in the north there that are not dug in right now. So he may launch an offensive, but he's probably going to be more likely to try and dig in. He's going to be aware that his position's actually a little tenuous at the moment. Oh, by the way, I was also thinking about having the North Army or another army basically based over here at Mahanj, however you want to pronounce that, and have them just act as like a reserve army. The issue is I just can't guarantee that they'd be there to react. So I'm keeping them in the middle so that they can at least provide support to the 2 armies there, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, so we have artillery under construction. I'm going to continue to build more heavy artillery. It might come a time when I produce a lot of medium artillery, maybe even next turn to get some masses of artillery there. But I kind of want to get more heavy artillery. Like my justification is I could also play some concessions over here. I might go ahead and do that. 2 victory points, however. God damn it. Okay, concessions will come in the future. We'll have to deal with the rebel alignment for now, but we'll manage. Alex is moving away from the rebel alignment over here. Was 25 at max. It's still at 22. The British are down to 22%, so they'll be joining soon enough. But not that quickly. I kind of overestimated how quickly they would be joining. I played a diplomat over here on Italy. I do and ah about playing it on the Ottomans, but the Ottomans are sliding towards us pretty quickly anyhow. We did make some progress with Romania, so we managed to move them to 67% from 65, I think it was. The Bulgarians have not yet moved. I need to get the Romanians to 70%, and then I can just take the diplomat and move it elsewhere. The Dutch are at 54%, so they're moving in the right direction, it's just going to take time. The Greeks haven't moved as of yet. The Portuguese will be joining the war soon. And the interesting thing is, when the Portuguese do join the war, it may look to invade their colonies. Like, this one's worth victory points over here. But I'm thinking about launching an attack on Dakar. So what I'm doing at the moment is, I do have our flotilla out here. Our little fleet over here with the Gobin and the Breslau, and a number of other ships over here. And we do have Von Spee here too, who's a very good commander. And we're moving to East Africa. I'm going to go ahead and pick up Von Letta over here and his men. I'm going to have them drop off over here at Togo and have him march with some additional troops over here to Dakar. I'm going to try and put down a siege over here if I can. Wow, it's a good question there, Little Gumstick. What a great name, by the way. Now, for example, if I go here and press F4... if I go to F5, sorry... I have the option here to recognize Bulgarian war goals. But the problem with that is it's like it does move Bulgaria 20% towards the Central Powers. But Serbia, not that it matters about Serbia, but Greece and Romania move 20% towards the Entente. So if I don't recognize Bulgarian war goals, it means I'm not going to have the Bulgarians in the Central Powers as quickly as I normally would do, or could do. But it does mean that I'm pretty likely to have the Romanians. Like, the Romanians do start with a pro-Central Power slant, at least in the game. Like, they start at 65. And I want to really leverage that. If I can bring the Romanians in, then that's really solid. That's really, really good for us. It means that we'll have a good, strong... I mean, the Bulgarians are stronger than the... yes, the Bulgarians are stronger than the Romanian army, I believe. Sorry, just adjust my chair here. But I really want both. If I can get both, that is going to kind of put an end to Serbia very, very quickly. But importantly, it does help, and it does go a long way to support the Austrians. And it does open up the Ukraine over here. It opens a lot of that up for me to actually attack. And once I do gain the Ottomans too, I could move through the Sea of Marmara, through the Bosphorus. And I could even try to move the Austrian fleet into the Black Sea. I'd have a port over here at Constanza, but really I'd have Istanbul, well, Constantinople actually. I'd have Constantinople to base my fleet from, and I could try to actually oppose the Russians in the Black Sea. Like right now, we have the High Seas fleet over here at Danzig. And I need to reorganize them. I was a little bit late and didn't reorganize them. But that's 218 ships there. It is almost the entire German fleet there, which I'm going to use there. Yeah, resources and manpower, and also troops in the field. I don't know about a navy or anything like that, but just having anything would be worthwhile. If we take a look at Bucharest, we have farms over there. So we have a farm, so we have wheat fields, Wallachian wheat. The cities produce wealth. Yeah, so it looks like we'll just gain the wheat there. Do I have any wheat to show? How you doing there, Salty Dodger? You are a great man, and I'm glad you're here. I'm also very concerned about my Austrian corps here, but they're going to have to run a gambit and try and make it back. That's been the biggest defeat so far, though, really. Oh, I'm facing off against Alex, and I'm facing off against Plumber. They're both good players. But we're all fairly new to End All Wars. I don't know. I mean, I've played to End All Wars for a couple of years. I know this game fairly well. But we're not professionals, so we've not been playing it consistently. This is a completely separate game. It is an AGEOD game, but you do have Civil War 2, and you do have To End All Wars. It's a full game. There is a mod of it, actually. Well, a mod that adds on to this game, but it is its own thing. You'll go ahead and get to see the turn resolution here in a second, Salty. I will restart the game so I can get the soundtrack. Sorry, the sound effects working. But that's an issue with my laptop being weird sometimes. I think it's Windows 11 that's weird sometimes. Okay. Yes, I was going to look for that wheat field. I think I have one in Budapest. So... I've got a strategic. Do I have any wheat fields? I'd imagine so. Oh, I do have the Hungarian wheat over here to the farm field. Can I see what that does? I'm just seeing the infantry here. What I'm going to go ahead and do then is, let's see. Is it F8 maybe? Right, okay. Wood's clear, okay. More supplies production, state funds production. I'm not sure what it would be considered as. I might have to check in the manual about that, actually, for what it does exactly. I think this is it over here. Not fully sure. But yeah, if you take a look over here, we have state funds. And yeah, Berlin produces the most, and then Vienna, then Hamburg. Vienna really is the heart there, to say the least. Right, what I'm going to go ahead and do is quickly save it here. I'm going to relaunch the game. It's got an awesome, awesome bit of art, actually. I'd love to know who... Yeah, Pentland. I'm going to have to try and find this guy. Maybe he has more art, or would do commissions, because this is an incredible piece of art. What I'm going to go ahead and do then is just relaunch the game. A bit of advertisement there in the background. So we'll relaunch that, and then we'll resolve the turn. We've had a fairly lengthy run through the turn there. So I think you guys should be on board for what's going to happen, and what I hope to happen. I'd love to have complete and utter success, but I guess we'll see how that goes. But yeah, if we go back over here then, so you can see that we have our war plan, they have their war plan. Well, these are the orders. It indicates that they have entered their orders. So we'll go in here. Alright. Let me just get back to the chat here so I can see. Alright. Oh yeah, there we go. I've got the sound effects now. That's good. I like the sound effects. Okay. I'm hoping this is going to work out. I'll just go ahead and refresh our memory on the battles that took place in this turn. So, the Eastern Entente captured... Yeah, they recaptured this over here then. Right, I lose some control over here, but that's okay. Movements and all. Right, there we go. Battles, retreats, and sieges. Okay, so we have the breach there. We inflict hits on the enemy due to the breach. So this was the core having its ass kicked. This was a big battle, but this was a battle that almost broke us. But yeah, it's kind of why this army is retreating. I just can't afford to take more losses like that. So you can see there that we had 34, I'm just going to say 35,000 losses. Versus the 52,000 of the Russians here. But the Russians still have more gas in that tank. We both lost about a third of our armies, but yeah, his army was larger to begin with. And that's a little scary. He did have some... Now this is classed as medium artillery. I did have heavy artillery here, so I had 2 regiments of heavy artillery and medium artillery. So I'm hoping that was enough. And that may have been what actually won the battle for us, really. But yeah, I'm hoping to avoid losses on that scale. We did have the other army over here, but it's really just like a glorified corps at that point. They did manage to see off another Russian corps as they tried to make their push into Galicia. So we managed to push them back. Did we engage the Russians with... yes, this was the Battle of von Hindenburg. So yeah, you can see here that we had 148,000 men involved in this attack. There's 132,000 men defending. Now, we didn't lose any guns, which is very good. We did have more guns than them, which actually helps out too. So we inflicted 24,000 casualties upon them. But as you can see, as I mentioned earlier, we did cross the river earlier on, which obviously does give us a penalty. We're not going to be facing that this time, but we will have men that have suffered cohesion losses. I mean, we suffered a lot more on the cohesion side. And I think that is... really down to us having crossed the river there. But we'll go ahead and, speaking of crossing rivers, we'll cross the Rubicon here on this turn and hope for the best. May God have mercy on our souls here. Let's see. I do believe I have a correct turn, so hopefully I haven't wasted everybody's time here by not having the correct turns from them. But I believe it's right. Alright, let's see. What's he going to do? What's he going to do? Looks like we're seeing more movements there to the French. From the French there. Yeah, a lot of movement. Is he going to attack? I would be very surprised if he did, but it's hard to say. It looks like he's building up for Valdemoiselle. Yeah, it looks like he's building up forces there. Building up a lot of forces. That's a lot of men. That is a lot of men there at Nancy. Right, Valdemoiselle is... Okay, we do assault the fortress over here at Kaunas. Yep, there we go. Okay, good losses there on our side there. So yeah, we do take out the fortress defenders. At the end of the day, they just didn't have the benefit of the fortress anymore, and they were grossly outnumbered. So we had 345,000 men involved in that attack, which is interesting, actually, because I'm not entirely sure where the 345,000 came from. It looks like they marched to the... No, actually. It may have been the cores nearby. I do have some very strong cores nearby, so that might have been why. But we do take the fortress with minimal casualties there. Right. I'm going to assume that the turn's working then, actually. Considering I've got these moves and another turn's movements from before, so we're all good. He's got a shitload of men out there. Okay, yeah, he did reinforce his position out there. That's a lot of men. Yeah. Okay. If you're wondering about the snoring, that would be Teddy. Yes, it looks like we could have engaged him there, but it looks like he did reinforce our position with quite a few men. But it's a good thing that we have the fortress now, so I do have that secured. It looks like he didn't press the issue over here at Rafinha, but he has moved deep into Rafinha. But we have been able to move to Lemberg. Looks like additional French corps here. Alex did make me laugh. He was moaning a little bit about the numbers of German forces on the Western Front. Oh, here we go. We are attacking Grodno. Yeah, looks like we'll take it there. Yeah. Yeah, there we are. We do take the fortress. That's good. That was an assault there. There was no... we did take 17,000, almost 18,000 losses there, but that's due to the fact that the fortress did not have a breach. We simply moved into the region and stormed the fortress, but we do have heavy artillery. We also do have our super heavy artillery over here, so those railroad guns obviously do a lot of work there. Though we do take the fortress here, so that's 2 fortresses seized this day, which is good, because that does solidify our position. We did take decent bit of casualties, but we should be able to replenish them in time. The good news is we got there without a Russian army relieving them. And it looks like there is a force nearby. Now this will be decisive. I don't know how this is going to go. We do have reinforcements arriving on the 15th day, but we have the Army of von Hindenburg there on the 8th and the Sporting Corps there on the 8th. So, who knows? Okay, so it looks like he did send a... Our Austrian Corps arrived here, but it looks like they arrived alongside. Okay, yeah, he did push in on that position. Right, this is von Hindenburg. He's reinforced by the Corps there. Looks like we are pulling out ahead here. Yeah, looks like we'll secure the day. What? No, actually, shit. Okay, we actually do not secure the day. Right. So we do have a defeat. This is our first defeat against the Russians. We take a hefty amount of casualties there, 4 to 6,000. Alright, that's not good. Not ideal. I thought we were going to win that one, actually. We'll see. It's not over yet. We do have another corps moving in there. Yeah. Bloody. But that was the problem with pushing forward. But we have to continue to pressure the Russians. Right. We have the Battle of Lublin over here, I believe. 100 and... Yep. Okay, there we go. We do have a solid Austrian victory there. Looks like we had the numbers there. 200,000 Austrian troops. Well, Austrian Empire troops. Versus 99,000 there. Casualties very light. It looks like he withdrew there, essentially. So that works out well. We don't really inflict all that much damage upon each other. But we do seize the field of Lublin, which is good. I can take the city then. Alright. Another corps is arriving over here. Maybe there'll be a second battle over here, but we'll see about that. So he's moved over there to Ivangorod, okay. Will we see another battle here this day? Ooh. Wow, okay, that's... Okay. So we do suffer a second defeat here on the Western Front. So it looks like he actually did attack Vosges. Yeah, he attacked there. We did have reinforcements arrive here. But again, yeah, he's attacked with very large numbers. I'm going to tell Alex that he's talking bullshit about numbers on the Western Front. But yeah, there we go. That's a very large French army. So that does push us back then from Vosges, it seems. We do have a follow-up battle here. Will we seize the day? It's looking like it. Yes, okay, okay. So the first battle here of Portos Fortress was a defeat for the Germans. But the second battle, we do seize the day. So... Well, we do take a hefty amount of casualties, more casualties than I would have really banked upon. We do seize the day, and we do drive off the Russians there. So we do achieve our goal. Yeah, we do achieve it, which is good. I'm hoping that the army over here will be available for a drive upon Warsaw now. Alright, that was bloody, but it was worth it having the other corps arrive. Those men will need replacements, but we do seize the day there. So we do suffer defeats, but we do achieve victories. Just to bear in mind, this was the first turn that we've had any major defeat. Oh, we actually do increase support in Italy and Bulgaria, that's good. Okay. A bloody turn greets us here today then. Oh, we did have another fortress breach here, that's good. So we'll go ahead and we'll start and take a look at the number of men lost here. It's going to be quite high. We were at 110,000 before. Yeah, just look at how those casualties have jumped up. We're at 214,000 casualties here now. The Russians are at 277,000. The French at 31,000. Just shy of 32 there, yep. So, looks like that division, yeah, that cavalry there, that corps, I should say, arrived at the same time. Yeah, he has a lot of men. I'm at Fortress level 2 here now. This will be bloody. We did reinforce this position. But again, this was a large, very large. Interesting that he went for those guys, but then again, that was because I just had cavalry there, so he chose that point to attack. But again, that did cost him casualties as well. But I think he feared attacking this army directly. But yeah, we'll see. It's going to be a bloody series of days in the coming. Well, yeah, it's going to be bloody in the future here. We have to hold on the Western Front. I can't allow him to break me here. I don't think he will. But we'll see. Alex is going aggressive. Oh, it looks like his armies over here reinforced. He did move a corps, but they reinforced over here. They marched to the sound of the guns, as did we. But yes, that went more so in his direction, but we'll see about that. So we do have the armies over here on a level 2 entrenchment. I may go ahead and actually have the Northern Army here sent down to reinforce Valdemoiselle. I feel like he's going to push it, and I feel like it's going to cost me a lot of casualties, but I feel if I can defend, it might be worth the casualties. But again, I could also choose to quit the field of battle. It's just, if I do so without inflicting risk on, well, inflicting costs on him, it's not really been worth it. But we'll see. I could pull back over here, but I'm then having to defend here. We'll see. We do have another regiment of heavy artillery available next turn, which is good. I do have another 3 divisions here that will be available next turn as well. We do have the heavy artillery, which is going to be 2 turns. 44 days, actually, it's a little bit longer than that. So 3 turns, really. And then we'll have that heavy artillery. Wow, we have a shitload of changes from capture on the battlefield. I captured 640 fucking war supply? What the fuck? What? Okay. Okay. I don't know where that's come from, but I'll take it. Where the hell did that come from? Wow. Okay. Right, these men are obviously going to go... we have the magazines over here. These are great. So that can go back in the fortress. We do see a Russian corps over here. Alright, we do have our troops over here that are entrenched. They're at level 1 entrenchment, but I do have the army here. I had this division moved over here just to hold this province. We do see a corps over here. Actually, I am in the region there. What are we looking at here? Yeah, we took a lot of losses over here. We're looking at 83,000 men. A lot of casualties there. I'm glad I did send all the corps there. 23,000 men. This was the reinforcement there with another 28. So I do have enough men. I've got 18% there. Can I get supply through there? Not right now, but I can get supply through here, so that's okay. Alright, are they still not in position? Did I send them the wrong way? Oh, I told them to link up, actually, so that's why. Alright, that's maybe not the end of the... Yeah, that's maybe not the worst thing ever, because I can have supply move through here now. Oh, you can see, actually, that we have Lodz acting as our depot. So you can see that Lodz has the level 1 depot, but also has the city. So that is actually putting supply together there for us. I do have a cavalry trying to take more control here so I can use the rail line. We actually... Yeah, we actually breached the defenses over here at the city. I've got supply enough, so I'm going to continue to besiege him. He may seize the opportunity to move to the south here and relieve them. We'll see about that. But the interesting thing is I'm in a pretty nice position right now. If I can cut this rail line, that's really good. Few troops over here. Alright. So we do have one Mulkey over here as well. So what's his range? Almost within range here. Right. We're gonna have to take a break and let some of these men recover, but we'll see about that. Yeah, he's trying to hit me on the flanks, but we're still strong out here. I do have this army here. That's 97,000 men. It looks like we did have martial standard guns, which is going to be interesting. That may scare him. In this corps alone, we have 52,000 men, so it's a pretty strong corps. And I need it there. Their ammunition and food is a little low, but again, yeah. The good news is that we do have the city in hand now. And we have a depot. So that's great. I can make use of that. So in the future, what I'll do is I'll use the city of Kaunas over there to basically... Is it Kaunas or am I thinking of a city? I'm just going to call it Kaunas for now anyway. Yeah. So in the future, I'll be able to have my supply wagons resupplied there, as well as ammunition. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and try and deal with these cavalry here. Okay. I do have a division of infantry here too. How you doing there, John? Yeah, this game really is criminally underrated. It's such a good game. How you doing there, Evil Twin? Yeah, we're actually in a good position there, Evil. Really in a good position. If I can make it here. How you doing there, Tom? Good to have you. Looks like I really made it here at last. Yeah, bit of a bloody turn. We did suffer quite a lot of casualties over here with Hindenburg's army. But we did make it. I don't quite have this open for supply, but I do have supply coming across this way. So it's not the end of the world. I just need to make sure this is open properly. Yeah. We're not actually yet activated for the attack on Warsaw then. Okay. It's a bit of a problem. Our supplies are running low over here actually. Which is a bit of a problem there. I do need supply. I may break off a course so I can have those men arrive, but I need that supply. But we do finally have supply over here at Lod, so supply will be making its way out here. It's now functional as a depot too, so we should have that. So let's go ahead and take a look. I'm really eager to see where we got that war supply. And the question is going to come down to, do I take the risk and do I build a regiment of super heavy artillery? Or do I do the same thing and just build lots of guns? I don't know where I got that from, but I'm eager to find out. And just to compare that, the Baltic ship in there is 21 war supply. We gained this day 256 from production, but we apparently captured 640 on the battlefield. And I really am eager to find out where. So that is a huge amount of war supply. Could it be the rifles? That may be what it means there. So, at Kaunas we captured 32,000 rifles. I'm going to have to check that out. We do gain national morale from this victory over here then, which is good. We're up to 101 right now. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, wow. Fucking hell. Captured equipment taken during the battle, 320. 1 point equals 1 war supply. Wow, okay. These fortresses then, full of munitions. Okay. Alright. And again over here, another 32,000 rifles. That's a good question there, LS. They should be doing it. I'm not entirely sure, but I think they're doing it. I Again, because I haven't really checked their channels, because obviously I'm not going to watch their videos on this. I'm not too sure, but I can ask them. I'll ask them later on today. But yeah, we also do secure national morale at Grodno. But again, yeah, that is a huge amount of war supply there to gain. And that's gained at Russian expense there. Alright. So, the Russians gained Tarnopol and the depot that into Hanopol, which is not exactly ideal. Yeah, so we'd lost national morale over here at the first Battle of Pultusk. And that was a defeat. I mean, that is a pretty hefty defeat there. 46,000 men is quite a lot of men. We inflicted 35, but again, that is quite a lot of men. I think these men were exhausted. It looks like exhaustion, but also bad luck here. It was a long battle too, with 5 rounds. But we'll give the men a chance to rest. We're going to have to. We do have a second battle, though, where we do achieve victory. Yeah, we do win the Battle of Lublin, which is really quite good. We decisively win the Battle of Lublin. We don't inflict decisive casualties upon the Russians here, but we do win the battle, which is important. It is a pretty important thing. So we do have a city under siege now. And he will know that if I take Lublin, that is another depot in the area. And I can work with that. These guys should be dug in soon enough as well. Yeah, 9 days. They'll be dug in by next turn. He may look to attack, but then again, if he does attack over here, he's kind of moving deeper into Poland and deeper away from being able to retreat. Okay, so it looks like he sent a corps or maybe another army over here. So he held his position, and it looks like reinforcements did arrive. But we do have our forces over here, so the 3rd and the 4th armies will be rebuilt, and we will push back against them. We have additional forces over here now. We also do have heavy artillery on the way. There's a... well, this regiment of heavy artillery arrived here today, with a good commander and some medium artillery. But we do have the regiment of heavy artillery. We do have another heavy artillery regiment on the way. We'll have another heavy artillery regiment on the way too. And we also do have Conrad von Hotzendorf, who has just been activated this turn, at long last. Where's that artillery? Oh, here it is. There we go. I am stripping these fortresses to gain this heavy artillery, but I bloody well need it. Have that head to the north, 18 days. So it'll be there, not the next turn, but the turn after. Right, so his cavalry have just broken through just as the mountain brigade has activated. So he may come to regret that. We do have the other mountain brigades over here. The question is, where do I send these men? These are divisional size units. Oh, I don't think we're actually there. We might not have level 2 entrenchments available yet on the Eastern Front. We'll see about that. I don't know, do I have those mountaineers head south? It's a question. I do need to relieve the siege over here. I don't think he's going to be able to break them. I don't think he'll be able to break them, especially having a port too. But I will want to relieve it at some point in the near future. Alright. Yeah, we did lose the Battle of Vosges, which was a bit of a shame there. But we did see a lot of Frenchmen join in this battle here. The 331,000 men total. And we don't lose all that many men. We really give as good as we get, but yeah. That's a lot of men. Howard says, I need to really take a good close look at how much heavy artillery he has here. Because this is going to be my best indication about how things are going to go. So I'm spying about 2 regiments of heavy artillery. And you can see here, I had some heavy artillery, just the 1 regiment of heavy artillery and medium artillery. I really need more artillery. I may invest in a vast amount of medium artillery. I kind of aim for every corps to have at least, well, to have 2 divisions and 2 regiments of medium artillery. But 2 regiments of heavy artillery would be even better than that. I've got 1,000 war supply. We gained a lot of that from the Russians this turn. I mean, 640. I'm gonna send a big old thank you there to Plumber and say thank you for all that sweet juicy war supply. I was complaining about not having enough. I do have to crack open these fortresses, but when I do... Oh, actually, he's still here on the field of battle. I could inflict a defeat upon him. Right, that'd be interesting. We could attack him again, though. I do have at least some fresh forces that arrived, not many, though. There's 23,000 men that arrived here, relatively fresh. It has been a bloody day there. But we still have strength and I still have position. I've got the artillery on him. I think we will win that. It'd be tempting as well to... I don't know, if I went for an assault, I think I'd probably take a lot more casualties. And I may not even be able to take the fortress. So, as much as I'd love to go for an assault and take the fortress this day, I don't think I've got the capability there. I do spy a corps over here. I may have the army continue to head south, but I am going to have a point of rest. These men are running low on cohesion. Yeah, you can see here exhaustion is playing a role now. But we did have them committed here. And then on the final day, we restore our honour and the honour of Hindenburg. And we do seize the day. And these aren't the best commanders. We had a very good commander here. But again, it comes down to our men being somewhat exhausted. But we do break them. But our men are tired. Very tired. So I do have to risk. I do have to weigh that up. I could inflict... I could go to battle again, but I think I'm gonna have to say no this time. I think I need to recover cohesion. So a bit of a mixed bag this turn. The Western Front is going to be interesting, and there's pressure on me here by that very large French army. I am looking for a point at which I can send another army to the west, honestly. I'm going to have to think about that soon. I was really thinking about taking this army over here and having them sent to the west like a turn or two ago. I'm glad I've retained them for now, but it's going to be painful. But we have managed to liberate a large amount of war supply for use in the war, so that's good. Oh, this is very, 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 very timely. Okay, so we've had a large number of militia forces just, yeah, activate. So that is the mobilization there. Right, okay. Alright, that's really timely. I'm going to need every one of these men. Alright. Haha. They're no divisions, they are just men without artillery. And this again comes down to the fact that I need more artillery. Right, but that's a good couple divisions I can have funneled out there. Alright, okay. We do have 3 divisions here, ready next turn. Alright, there we are. That's a lot of divisions there. I'm very happy about that. I can see that General Teddy's just woken up. Oh, he's just... yeah, okay. He just moved from his bed to fall asleep on the floor. So, yeah, okay. Looks like his bed was getting too warm for him. So he's like, you know what, I'm going to go sleep on the cold floor now. Alright, there we are. So that's quite a few divisions that have just activated this turn. And that really is just in the nick of time, especially as I have seen a very large concentration of French. The question does come down to, though, what do I do about it? Because at the end of the day, I am facing the Russians, and we are dealing defeats to the Russians. It's just, I can't safely maintain forever the numbers that we have out there. But with those reinforcements arriving in time, okay, that'll make a difference. I don't know, that's maybe like another 100,000 men, but they are only militia. They don't have artillery support. But they'll do just well in... Yeah, they'll do well in the prepared positions. Yeah. Okay. Looks like we have some promotions available. So you can see here then, congratulated, von Mackensen congratulated, Otto von Bülow. Oh, blame for having suffered defeat by the enemy. Right. Max von Gallowitz is able to be promoted. Is he over here? Yeah, here he is. He may, in fact, be available for a army command then. Or at least he'd be a level 3 commander. So he could, in theory, lead an army one day. Which would be good, we need army commanders. He's our guard commander, basically. Yeah, he did very well. Importantly as well, he's a mass artillerist, so he gives, yeah, additional benefits there to the artillery. Yeah, they're gonna need to be the best, their flame. They're gonna need to be. Alright. We did have another 29,000 men arrive here. It looks like they need to be replenished. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. A bloody turn. I can at least attack... Yeah, I could attack the Russians over here. He's got some cavalry over here. He keeps... I don't know, maybe he's trying to break the rails but not doing it. I may need to tell him that he needs to be on defensive to do that. Or at least I need to double check that anyhow. Yeah, so it looks like they'd gone up to level 2 defenses. And it did help, but just didn't have enough momentum to really make it work. Yeah, so you can see match entrenchment is now level 3 on the Western Front, level 2 on the Eastern Front, and the Balkans level 1. Sorry, level 2 on the Eastern Front and the Balkans, level 3 now on the Western Front. So we'll be digging in here. And it is 5 days until they reach that level 3 entrenchment. We're really going to need it, frankly. We are going to need it. Is he active? He's active. Okay. A little over here. Well, he's a really poor commander, in fact. Alright. I don't want them to retreat if engaged. I need them to at least hold. Yeah. So we're looking at 109. We're looking at about 150,000 men here. So yes, I'm going to need the Northern Army. The Northern Army bringing another 105,000 men there. I need artillery. Having men will definitely help because I can at least have some reserves to play with. Let's take a look over here then. So, pro-Entente sentiment has moved Britain, moved the US. Pro-Central Powers sentiment moved the Ottomans. The Dutch move towards neutrality. Japan moves towards the Entente, Portugal moves to the Entente. Oh, I lose that region, obviously. I do break the... Oh, no, they haven't made it back. Okay. These men are probably going to die. They're probably going to die. Which is a shame, actually. I could have really have done with those. But we do break the rails over here. For what it was worth, definitely not a core. Definitely not worth that core, but we'll see about that. Let's see. So I do move Italy from 45 to 47, actually. The British are at 19% now, so they're going to be moving increasingly quickly. The US is at 83. I'm going to have to put the major diplomat towards the US in the future, and just to try and delay that entry as much as possible. The Ottomans are at 70% now, which means that they'll be moving faster, which is good. Oh, hang on, no. Sorry, they'll just continue moving as they were at 1% per turn. But they're moving now. I need to get to 70% and then, yes, the Italians would move naturally. Greeks remain stubborn. The Dutch, stubborn really. Portuguese are on their way. Yeah, the Portuguese will be here in maybe like 2 or 3 turns max. The Romanians didn't move this turn, which is a big shame. I really want to get there to that 7%. The Bulgarians do move at least, so we get to 62% this day. And again, if I can get them to 70%, that's going to help. So, yeah. Things are moving. And frankly, I really would like more men, especially on the Western Front. The British are going to join soon. And the problem is, like, right now, I'm dealing with Alex, with just the French. Not that the French army is bad. It's just I'm not using everything I have here. But we are dealing decisive defeats to the Russians. I'm just taking casualties as well. But I'm hoping I can sustain that. What's Russian morale at? So that's what I need to break. Right, Russian morale is down to 93. We're at 101. Western Entente morale is at 95. I need to get him to 75. I need to continue to push and push and push and push the Russians. We're holding so far, but yeah, it's gonna start becoming even more costly. Honestly, if I could take Petrograd, that would be a really big swing. We need to. We need to. I need to figure... I'm going to have to look up on the forum and find out about minesweepers. If I can clear the mines, that'd be great. I need to. Or even I just land over here. Or even land over here. There's a size 1 harbour. But at least I could put a depot here and begin marching down through Finland. It would be a really big risk. But at least the thing is like... Well, France is decently strong. Like, we do have more power than the French. It's just right now, they're able to concentrate it. Like, for example, he's able to concentrate it over here. Like, he brought 300,000 men to battle there. It's like... We're maybe equal, or maybe he does have more men than I do here in the West. I'm not entirely sure. We may be nearly equal, it depends. I'm kind of leaning towards him probably having a greater mass of men in a single location. But I don't know, it depends there, really. I'm definitely going to have to send all of these reservists to the west, I think. I think that's how it's going to have to go. I do have other reservists that have come online here in Austria too. And that's great timing. Well, there are all that many, it seems. Right, Hotzendorf. Need you. How far does your radius extend? Let's count this way, so maybe 3 regions. But along rail lines, it does seem further. Interesting. I'm not too sure how it works on that one. Ah, Teddy's woken up. Ah, is he moving? Oh, he's moving back to the bed. Yeah, he's moving back to the bed. He's looking at me now. He's like, how dare you call me out? Ah, he's back on the bed. Question is he going to sleep? We do have replacements. Let's go ahead and take a look at F2. Yeah, currently I'm missing 210. Yeah. I think I need to have them given opportunity to rest. I'll double check on the manual, but I believe they need to be in a position with supply. Maybe they can't be on the front line, I'm not too sure. Probably tell us here somewhere. Nobody gained replace. Oh, no. Seems I'm just not getting replacements. I think I need to have them in a position where it's not on the front line then, and then they can resupply. The manual does advise that you keep troops off the front lines as well for when you want to have them recover. But yeah. How is the Russian front? He's making a push over here. I think he's going to go for this position here. And I believe that's going to happen. But I think what I'm going to go ahead and do here then is see what I can do about this army. I want to defeat the Russians. If I can defeat the Russians here. He does have a core there. At the end of the day, it depends really. Like, we are pushing him hard here. Yeah, it does make sense after all. How you doing that, man? Yeah, if I can take Warsaw. Like, there's 2 armies of it. Well, yeah, there's the 3 armies. Technically, it's the 4th army here, but I don't know if it has the men of an army. It's got a couple divisions there. It's bigger than a corps, I guess. He has 3 armies over here. This army has been defeated in a battle. It didn't lose that many casualties. This army has lost a good number of casualties. I don't know what they're going to be looking at. There's a part of me that's like, you know what, continue the offensive, but these men are very tired. I think they need to rest. I need the rail lines active, honestly. This way we're making gains. I may continue to just march over here and take that with the army of Von Kluck, but we'll see. There is such a thing to knowing when to halt and when to advance. I've also been very stingy in refusing to raise state funds. As you can see here, Alex printing funds again. Well, still from the earlier turns. Yeah, we'll see. I did raise additional fortress guns over here. Are they the ones I'm already... Yeah, these ones are on the way already, okay. Right. Yeah, this army's doomed. Capture the magazine. Okay. Yes. Okay. There's been no progress really here on the Serbian front, which is a bit of a problem. So you can just build up his Serbian forces here. But we'll see. I'm not too sure if I want to have those mountain troops actually sent to the Austrian front at all, because I'm not. I don't think I think I'll probably not do that. I think probably have them sent over here to where the battle is taking place. I do have cavalry here and armored cars, which is quite nice. Right, turn you to a corps commander. There we are. Pretty good corps commander at that. You can go with the army here. How many men are we looking at? 85,000. 58,000. Okay. You do have reconnaissance here, which is quite good, so higher detection value is useful. Oh, I can't have that in there, okay. That's to do in the background. I do have a lot of cavalry here. Yeah. They need to recover men. Alright. Over in Africa, the naval flotilla, naval fleet arrived. I can't carry the supplies, so I'm going to have to leave that behind. But I can carry this core. So we have just shy of 30,000 men aboard now. Don't ask me how they all fit. They're going to move to Togo. I probably want to avoid combat if I can. I'll have to find the rest of the Hungarian, well, the Austro-Hungarian. Ah, there we are, there's a couple. I'll have to find the rest of them. See, when it comes to the Austrians as well, I do need to take into consideration their nationality. Like, I have Czech troops over here. These are obviously Austrian troops. These are Italian troops. Like, for example, over here, you can see that we have... This commander is an Austro-Hungarian commander, so he can command Austrians and Hungarians without penalty. I have an Italian, and yeah, this guy is leading. He's a multinational commander, so he can lead any nationality without penalty. But he's commanding Italian and Croatian troops. This is a Romanian, Austro-Romanian commander. He's commanding, ironically, Hungarian troops. The problem is finding the correct commanders and finding the correct troops to match said commanders. I've got Czech troops over here. We've got quite the ensemble of troops here. And I'm not entirely sure what the penalty is. I need to figure that penalty out. But it is more difficult than just with the German forces. The Germans have that homogeneity to their men. The Austro-Hungarian forces do not. We have to deal with our differences in a way. Or at least we're reminded of our differences. I need Einstein. Marois, sorry. I don't know how we pronounce it. Just whatever you think's right, just say that in your head. I do have a pretty strong position over here. Even with just leaving this core, I should have enough to actually hold on to the fortress. He does have a large army over here. But I have a equally large army and a large core as well supported. I also do have the benefit of the river. I mean, this is a river, this is... I can't directly look at the river, so I guess it's considered like a small river. And this is like a proper river, so we do have a greater bonus there. Oh, it is raining out here now. Yes, we have mud on the eastern front. I wonder if I did actually play a role here in this fight. Alright, okay, so things are going to grind down now with the mud. The west, of course, is clear weather. I don't know, we'll see about that. I'm hoping that there will be mud over here, so I need that mud to help me. But yes, thank you for watching, guys. Take care, and see you in the future.